Question of the week. It's question of the week, and it is for JB. And here we go. All right, JB. This is an interesting question from Yo Mama 98. Yo Mama 98 to BT and JB. Have you guys ever considered doing another podcast not on Memphis Wrestling? So have we ever, as a duo, considered? Let me answer this real quick. We've never talked about that. That's maybe a great idea. We have a successful podcast. You have visited us during Dynamite, I think, one time, and did it. But I know what you're going to say, but I'm going to tell everyone else you're very, very busy, man, and doing Twitch, which you can put over your channel when you talk. And me, I put out so many other podcasts that it's almost, and me and you do a podcast more than anyone else does on my network. We do 4 shows a week. 4 shows a month or 5 shows a month. And I want to tell y'all a secret. We sometimes have the hardest time deciding when we can get together.
Yeah.
Secret. Let me get you behind the scenes. We don't always record on Saturday. It just goes out on Saturday. So we have a hard time for that. So I don't know if we could ever do a regular podcast on something other than Memphis Wrestling. But give your thoughts on that. Good question, though.
I love doing this podcast because I learned so much about wrestling from you and this entire audience, especially when they approach us at Memphis Wrestling. It's something that I would love to do, but like you said, our schedules are very hectic. I know for me, mine is getting crazier and crazier by the day, but it's something that I would be more than happy to be a part of. If not that, I would love to be a special guest on the STS pod, baby. Come on, that's where it's at right there.
Yeah, you did we had a really good time the first time that JB and I ever talked. I think this is really funny. This is episode 73. The first time we ever talked was when I brought you onto the podcast. So it was we kind of messaged back and forth on Twitter, but that was it. So for us to be, and this is really I consider a successful podcast. It always gets huge numbers. Thanks to Memphis Wrestling, and thanks to, you had a following, I have a following, we put them all together, boom. Thanks for the question. It got me to thinking, and I always have a bunch of crazy ideas and throw a bunch of them against the wall, but that may be something me and JB talks about in the future. So I got another question of a week to you, JB, but you know what? I'm going to make that a Patreon question. So I'm going to actually tease it. I've got another question, but question of the week air right here, 501-232-1701. You can call in. We don't have anyone. No one has ever done this. We'll call in and we'll answer it. We'll play the question. Our STS Pod Club at gmail.com.
Someone's calling in, I guarantee it.
Someone needs to. Someone needs to call in.
Someone's calling in. I guarantee it, BT. I guarantee it. It's happening.
All right.